Dyson's work. Oxygen, a fabulously important thing. I give, when patients are getting IPT in my office, they're getting oral oxygen. We know that Virchow said that tumors are wounds that do not heal. That's the cytokine process. Now, number one here, repotoxin is what Dr. Max Witche is using to block that interleukin 8. It's an anti-inflammatory agent. Well, who knows about anti-inflammatory agents? We do. It's a very important component. Aspirin, Lancet, in 2011. Soy. Please understand there's an estrogen receptor alpha and an estrogen receptor beta. Beta is beta for you. Beta is beta. If you have estrogen receptor beta, that's a healthy thing. Estrogen receptor alpha is the estrogen which understandably is criticized and we have to lower in people with cancer. Here's an article which talks about breast cancer as inflammation. Aspirin, some excellent references, lowers the risk of cancer. Here's the estrogen receptor alpha and beta. Every good presentation has to have a slide you can't read, so I just put that up there. Gene expression in circulating tumor cells, but if you want to look what soy does genetically, it hits all the right genetic markers. Soy increases the tumor suppressor P53 and P21. The closer you look at fermented soy, the more powerful it is. It enhances DNA repair and so forth. Zipping through that. So going after the cancer stem cells, I suggested we need to learn how to do that better. And one way to do that is with soy. There's references there. Inhibited leukemia cell growth by inducing cell differentiation. Taking a cancer stem cell and moving it into, like we saw that the adenoma became a polyp. The goal is to take the cancer stem cell, the instigator, and bring it back in line like a confused ADHD kid who can start to learn and behave. We have that potential. The soy, here's the information on metformin. It decreases the dose of chemotherapy required. This is CSC is circulating, is cancer stem cell, and it shows that metformin reduces cancer stem cell. Well, metformin is a pretty inexpensive agent. Berberine, a similar effect, could be as good, if not better. New applications for an old drug. Fish oil goes after cancer stem cells. Herceptin targets breast cancer stem cells. Chrysin kills cancer stem cells. So, in summary for the cancer stem cell piece, cancer mortality is directly related to the cancer stem cell activity, metastatic and proliferative. Chemotherapy and radiation, IPT in addition, does not kill cancer stem cells. Chemotherapy and radiation, I would suggest including IPT, can make cancers grow faster or more virulent because they're even more effective at killing the tissue and inciting the tissue response with interleukin 8. So the treatment of people with cancer requires adjunctive care, not just chemo and radiation, treatment which fails to address the toxicity of the cancer stem cells, treatment which just tries to kill the cancer and not go after the cancer process I consider to be irresponsible. It's time to doctor those cancer stem cells. Okay, further readings, there's some excellent references, I think. How's my time, are we out? All right, so every time someone like me stands up here and gives you case presentations, you have to assume they're the best cases. So in that sense, it's not really a fair scientific thing to do to share just the best cases. But Hodgkin's lymphoma, typically I do the pre and post PET CTs. And these cases, if you were to review them on the website, they show complete remission. And that is just the beginning of the struggle. Now you have to say to them, okay, you got a little breathing room. Do you still want to live, or was it just, adrenaline to get well? How has cancer been a blessing for you? How is it the best thing that could have happened? Now, you give me cancer, I might not have the presence of mind to be able to speak so philosophically about it. So I'm not making this kind of a blithe comment. I have tremendous respect for people. I read a nice quote. Everyone you meet is waging a great battle. And it's true, everybody. The bus driver, everybody we meet is waging a great battle. So I don't want to be cavalier about cancer, but I do want to say, in addition to all that other stuff, how can you, the patient, Accept this in your being as having been an appropriate symptom, a messenger, a healing gesture. Why was that cancer process appropriate or beneficial? Triple negative infiltrating ductal carcinoma, PET CT, it's all gone. Lung and breast, 2 primaries. I've only had about 6 patients who have had 2 primaries. It's very interesting. Up in Washington with Hanford, we get that. The capacity to play reflects the capacity for life. I've had a series of folks with pancreatic adenoma carcinomas. They're doing well. In 2 cases, one from Strong Memorial Hospital, one from Tacoma General, the doctors are saying must not have been adenocarcinoma of the pancreas. I said, well, you did the biopsies. Okay, so prostate, wonderful, metastatic breast cancer outcomes. So the standard of care is subtherapeutic. Only 10% of the conventional oncologists would take the medications they prescribe. We would take our medicine. Any oncologist not addressing cancer stem cells while killing cancer tumor cells, I think, should be challenged. So the corrective cancer care is safe and effective, cost-effective, and of course it's been going since 1926. Increased safety, increased efficacy, but all this is happening within the context of a human being. Treat the patient, not just the cancer. Osler taught us that the secret of caring for the patient is caring for the patient. Alan Tisdale, my professor in medicine, said, when in doubt, ask the patient. I thought that was great advice. It still is. So the war against cancer, and by the way, I'm serious, patients will, I sometimes have to ask them 3 times. Well, why do you think you got cancer? I don't know. Well, why do you think you have cancer? I don't know. Well, why do you think you have cancer? Well, I think my job is killing me. You know, if you ask them, if you won't not ask them, if you'll ask them to give you the answer, they will tell you, and whether it's right or wrong, it's usually right, and they have an intuition. So the war against cancer is over. Doctor the patient and doctor the cancer cell too. Don't kill the messenger. Honor the wisdom of the symptom. That's a metaphor there. And then here are those 2 quotes. Be kind to everyone you meet, for they're fighting a great battle. And if you can't be nice, be vague. Thank you very much.
Brad, we have time for one question that was raised that I think everyone probably needs to hear the answer to.
Really enjoyed your lecture, but for an hour you've begged the question, what is it about the cancer stem cell that makes it resistant to the toxicity of the chemotherapeutic agent?
Oh, thank you. It's kind of like, and I'm going to give you what I think is the current understanding, but this is again, there is oncologists that don't even believe in a cancer stem cell. So my current understanding is that the cancer stem cell is kind of like the undergraduate who hasn't declared a major. Doesn't have the receptors, actually, to be a target for chemo and radiation. It's an underdeveloped cell that hasn't declared its major. It's under the radar. It's still full of potential. And so it's not developed enough to be a target for chemo and radiation. It's not dividing. Yeah, it's a lot of things. It's ready to do the right thing, and it's not really committed to a life of crime. And we just have to set the environment so that we can not necessarily kill the cancer stem cell, but help it become the polyp. The adenoma became the polyp. Or to have a cell actually differentiate into a tumor cell, and then we can kill it. IPT has its role. I don't mean to poo-poo that at all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
One more round.